Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Amigos Podcast. I am Anthony Olan, and I am here, as always, with my brothers in crime, or whatever, Chris and Frankie.
We didn't do anything. I swear we didn't do anything. All right. We're here to rag on Nintendo's Amiibo physical microtransaction. Anthony is the resident Nintendo fanboy of the group. Take it away, friend.
Okay, so here's my biggest problem with this Amiibo. If you don't know out there, the Zelda Skyward Sword Amiibo is not only overpriced, but it provides basically fast travel for you. Here's my problem, okay? A lot of people say Amiibos are physical DLC. I don't think that's what it is. I'm going to explain why that is, okay? If you look at the Shovel Knight Amiibos, right? Each of the three figures will get you one skin and one fairy that you can summon in battle, right? Normally, a DLC like that will cost you like $5, right?
Yeah.
An Amiibo costs about $15. For the Shovel Knight Amiibos, however, you can't get them separately. They come in a pack of 3, so you got to pay $35. Then you look at other games with Amiibo functionality. They don't all give you a DLC type of experience. Like, take Smash Brothers, for example. Each Amiibo for Smash Brothers is basically for you to take progression of your character to another Switch and play with it over there. So why would they put a fast travel system behind a $25 Amiibo? Because it's technically 2-in-1 Amiibos. No, it's not. It's one Amiibo for $25. And I actually thought the game was $50 as a selling price. It's not. It's $60 full price. So you're paying like $85 just to have the game and to have fast travel. Now, to be clear, for those listening, if you don't know, you can still fast travel in the game like you could normally. But if you want to do it from anywhere in the game, you got to pay $25 for the Amiibo. And considering how the Monster Hunter Amiibos sold out before they were even released, you know for sure the scalpers are going to come and fucking take all the damn Amiibos. And therefore, you cannot fast travel wherever you want.
Wow.
What the fuck, Nintendo? What the fuck? Like
we might have more material here than I thought.
Damn. We have not sat down and talked about this in full depth. So Anthony, I applaud you very, very much. I mean, I know it's your job with your YouTube channel to know this, but God, like you pretty much simplified everything in a matter.
Well, and then here's the other thing. So like when Mario 3D World came out, they made like 2 Amiibos for it, right?
Yeah.
And all they would do is they would give you like one item to use. Like one of them gave you like maybe a mushroom. One of them gave you like a super suit to have invincibility. That's not physical DLC. It's you to buy a figure to collect it and then have something added. Mind you, I collect Amiibo. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 10 Amiibo figures and like 23 Amiibo cards. So I collect these things. I enjoy collecting them just like I enjoy collecting pop figures. But it's like, why would you put the fast travel behind a $25 Amiibo? Mind you, I don't even think the Amiibo looks all that great. There are people who like the design of it. I don't. I think it sucks. Why do we not have a Link Amiibo for this game? You don't play as Zelda. You play as Link.
Yeah. I'll let it all out, man. You know, this is a safe space. Hey, we have fans now. All right. So they want the real Anthony Olan tech.
And the other thing is like, so because Nintendo had a lot of news coming out recently. Like one of the things they announced was like they added new games to the NES and SNES virtual console or whatever. Mm-hmm. And people are upset about the games we got. And I'm like, okay, who cares about the NES and SNES games? Because we already got Mario, Donkey Kong, and Metroid on those platforms. That's all you need. And you're not paying a lot for the online. You're paying $20 a year. That's a freaking steal right there. And everyone is saying, when are we going to get Game Boy Advance on the online service? When are we going to get GameCube games, N64 games? When are we going to get better online? Do they not realize that if they add all these extra features, they have to increase the price? They're not going to charge you $20 a year, $3 a month for all these additional features. I understand why it's wanted, but you're going to end up paying a lot more for these features. And I don't think Nintendo wants to do that. I think they want to keep the cost low because it's them competing against the other consoles. And while Xbox is completely killing it with the Game Pass bundle and everything, Nintendo is killing it with the price tag. They're not charging a lot. That's where they get the win right there.
Yeah, I mean, if you do the math, it's like what, like less than $2 a month. Like, I mean, that's pretty
And
good. I mean,
and it's
I
like
would argue that Nintendo doesn't have as many multiplayer, like online heavy games that you would find on the other systems like
Right.
Xbox and PlayStation. But still,
right.
look, $20 is for a whole year. No, I don't think anyone's going to argue that's the best
Right.
deal
Right.
you could possibly
Because
get.
like in terms of games that have like online multiplayer, if it's not a first party Nintendo game, those games have in-game party chat anyway. Like Fortnite, Warface,
Right.
those free-to-play games, they have in-game party chat. And if not, just use Discord or something. I don't like Discord, but if a lot of people do use Discord, whatever. But they're also saying when are we gonna get a decent party chat application? We're probably not. The Switch is what, 4 years old, 5 years old.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get a decent party chat by now. Even to like that new controller I bought, it has a headphone jack, but you can't use it unless it's plugged in. So it's like they're not gonna really implement this thing. If you don't know about by now, Nintendo is all about the first party games as well as many third party games they can put in their console. All those Bethesda games, DC Universe, Fortnite, Rocket League, um, Assassin's Creed and all the 2K games, like they're all about trying to get the games out, and they need to change something up with the amiibos as well. Because I've been looking on Amazon, some of these amiibos, they go on for like 40, 50, $80. Like I can't buy a Bayonetta amiibo because I'm not paying $100 for Bayonetta for an
So
amiibo.
I saw Yang Ye talk about this a little bit. I think the way he phrased it was sort of what I was thinking, was like, okay, they remastered a game that
Mhm.
isn't even that old. It came out, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Part of the point of a remaster is to up some like quality. You want quality of life improvements, right?
Mhm.
And so like I think one of the areas that makes this Zelda thing look way worse is that the Mass Effect trilogy just came out. It's 3 games. It's not
Mhm.
one game. It's 3 games.
Right.
It includes every single bit of DLC. They remastered the whole thing 4K, 60 FPS, redid textures, lighting, all that stuff. Nintendo basically just did an HD port of a game from not that long ago. And then they took the only quality of life improvement out of the remake and are now selling it back to you as not only a separate entity, but one that's limited in quantity. Not only a separate entity, but one that's limited in quantity. Only going to be so many Skyward Sword Amiibos. So there's just going to be a large portion of your player base. Like there are people legitimately excited for this remake, and that's great if you've never played it or you played it and you loved it and you want to play it again. But there are going to be people who can't get the Amiibo, either because scalpers are going to scoop it up and price them out, or regular people are going to scoop it up and you just didn't make enough of them. So it's crazy to me that they're like removing a game mechanic, or a mechanic that if you're getting a remaster, ideally it would be in there,
Right.
and they're selling it back in a limited quantity. That's so.
So here's the thing about it, because in the normal game, I guess if you go to like a save point, then
Yeah.
you can transport wherever. Which
Yeah.
that's another thing I want to add to it. Like you have like I don't know how it is in Link's Awakening, but in Breath of the Wild, you could save wherever you are. So you would think with this remaster, they would change it so you can save wherever you are. But the workaround to the limited Amiibo release is that you can find, I'm sure someone's going to make it a physical card, and it's going to have the NFC chip inside. It'll do the same thing for you at a lot cheaper. Like I really wanted that one Monster Hunter Amiibo, and it was normally priced for like $25, I think, because it was a bigger Amiibo.
Yeah.
Now it's cost like $100, over $100, and for like $10, I got 3 different cards for each of the 3 Amiibos, and they work. And I got whatever comes in the Amiibo. So like, don't buy this fucking amiibo, people. Just don't buy it. Buy the look on Amazon, try to find the NFC card, buy that instead. It'll be a lot cheaper and it'll do the same shit. Just don't buy the stupid amiibo.
But
and the crazy thing,
even that though, like, come on, the NFC card, like that is, it's like now you're limiting the audience to people who need to know that that's an option and they need to know how to find it. And this is all for a game mechanic.
Yep.
This is not DLC. This is not an extra character. This is an extra missions. This is something that they knowingly removed from the game.
Right.
And I mean, I'm sure there is going to be some Nintendo fanboy on. I know there's a bunch of YouTube channels devoted to people who just do Nintendo stuff, and I'm sure someone is defending this in some way.
Of course.
But it's like, I mean, we talked about it's the precedent that this is setting, because they did this. Apparently, I heard they did this with a Metroid game, which was that they locked the hardest difficulty behind the amiibo. You had to buy the amiibo to play or to, unlock the hardest difficulty if you wanted to beat the game on that. I don't care about that kind of stuff. Usually I play the game once, I'm good. But there are, like, Anthony does this a lot. Difficulty hunters who want to beat the game on every difficulty. And they took it out and sold it back separately. And so now they're taking it a step further. They're putting a mechanic that they could have included into an amiibo. And it just, like, it worries me because EA, you know what it is too? It's like if EA did this, this would be like blowing up headlines everywhere.
Yes, that's what I've been saying.
EA, Ubisoft, like all these greedy companies.
Right.
But like when Nintendo does it, because they're cute and family and Mario and Donkey, like, no, this is dangerous what they're doing. Like,
and my other problem with the game is, like, if like me, I hate motion controls. I really do. And while this game is gonna have the use of a pro controller and stuff like that, it's meant for motion controls. It's meant for you to play with the Joy-Cons in hand. So if you don't like motion controls, you're probably not gonna like the game. I'm only debating on getting it in only because, one, I never played it. Two, I might want to do a review on it or something. But I'm probably not gonna buy it day one. Like, I don't know. I'm not a huge Zelda fan, but I think what they should have just did was remake Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask for the Switch.
Of course.
Because I loved Ocarina of Time. I never beaten it, but I loved playing that game. I mean, just the music from the Ocarina alone. Oh my god, that would have been perfect for people. Wow. And you're gonna see these YouTubers like Beat 'em Ups and RGT85 and 8-Bit Eric and Kevin Kenson and all these other Nintendo YouTubers. They're all gonna talk about it, and they're all gonna be like, oh, it kind of sucks that they made the mule, but it's whatever. They sent me one for free, or it's whatever. I'm gonna buy it.
They won't admit that. They can't admit that anymore. Not with everyone. If they do, good for them. Way to be transparent. But I feel like there's no transparency anymore. Well, except if a company's not going to be transparent with their consumer, like, let's face it, you've already said it. The problem is you're taking a feature away that's normally been in games forever. Right. Sure, granted, there's times where, like, they just remove save wherever you want, fast travel, save.
Right.
They've slowly drawn back, but you're literally taking a simple mechanic, a feature that's always been there for games, not every game, and now you're expecting people to pay. Like,
and it's really, because this is a remake,
and exactly, right. And so
this is the version of the game that remakes are like the definitive version. If somebody asked me, Chris, I heard about Mass Effect, how should I play it? I'd be like, you're in luck. They literally just remastered all 3 games, 4K, all the DLC, lighting, textures, everything. Go get that for $60. If someone is like, hey, I want to play the new Zelda thing that they just, I heard there's a new one coming out. You're like, oh yeah, get that one. It's like, you're not going to say, go get the one for the Wii U. And then you're going to sell someone this remastered. I mean, come on, it's remastered. This is the thing. Why.
Wait, to my point, to my point is like they're really, really playing their fan base, their consumers. If you buy this, if you essentially agree to this, maybe you're just buying it for the collection of your Amiibos, perfectly fine. But if you're buying this, knowing that you want this feature, you congratulations, you fucking played yourself. You're a fucking chump, and you've played right into their hand.
Yeah,
like,
there's gonna be someone who's like, oh, I want to be able to fast travel anywhere. How can I do that? And they're like, oh, just buy the Amiibo. They're like, oh, okay, cool, I'll do that. And they shell out the extra $25. Like, there's always going to be people who don't care. They're like, oh yeah, no big deal. Like, same with like when video games come out with like $100 extra editions. You get extra DLC and shit right away. Like, oh yeah, I'll just buy that.
But it's not the real.
But like, it's because for the majority of their consumers, man, Nintendo they just want to see how much they can get away with. That's all this is.
And the thing about this crazy is like, so if you get the Mass Effect trilogy, those games aren't short, right? They're like long games.
Those are really, if I had to think back, I would say they're probably at least 50 hours each.
And like the other thing I heard, I forgot who said it, but it was kind of funny. They were like, it's cheaper to just buy a used Wii and buy Skyward Sword on Wii.
Shit, I'll loan out my girlfriend's Wii to
play that game. Yeah.
You know what? I think we have one in my mother's place. Like someone has one over there.
It's just it's crazy because it's not an old game. Like this is like when we heard Sony wanted to. Well, no, and even that's different because they want to remake Last of Us 1.
Yeah.
They already remastered it. They're not remastering like that game again. But I don't know. I think like. Yeah, I wanted to keep this on the Amiibo thing because I am very nervous about what Nintendo's going to try with other games. And I think the other thing that worried me was that this is happening to a remake, which like conventionally would be the version of the game that includes all of the stuff that the one before maybe was missing, or they're like, oh, we didn't get a chance to put this in. And so, like, what are they going to do with, like, whenever it comes out? Like Mario Odyssey 2, Breath of the Wild 2, Pokemon Legend. Like, it just makes me nervous that they're going to be like, hey, maybe we can lock, a little bit extra. Yeah, I guess because also, like, the Pokemon was DLC, and that was controversial because they'd never done that before. But what if they had just, like, locked Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra between between an Urshifu and a Calyrex Amiibo, and they only made 100,000 of them. So like, you couldn't even play the the DLC if you couldn't find one. Like that's so insane.
And it makes me wonder what could they do for the third party games if they give them the permission to? Because what if, for example, you have to buy an Amiibo to fast travel in Skyrim? You know how big of a map Skyrim is?
Yeah.
Or what if they told you if you're playing Doom, you can't get the super shotgun without an Amiibo? Then I'm gonna play on Game Pass. Then I'm not gonna play it on your
all of this. Everything you're describing sounds like if you didn't just make it up right now, I would 100% believe that both of those things have already happened. Like those sound like headlines, like Nintendo locks, weapon from Doom 10 behind Amiibo. Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. They're just funny, trying to see what they can get away with.
Majority of my Amiibos that I have are all Smash Brothers Amiibos, and all they do is just give you a character save file for another console to play on. My Monster Hunter one, it just gave me like a visual skin. It had no changes to armor or anything. It's a nice skin, don't get me wrong, a nice armor, but most of these Amiibos, they don't really do much for the game anyway. Like the Metroid one you mentioned, it unlocks a hard difficulty. That would be cool. That's cool and all. If it also gave you like a new armor, a new weapon or something, not many Amiibos at all even do that for you. Like,
yeah. Well, you're the Amiibo expert. This terrifies me. I mean, I mainly only own a Switch to play Pokemon, but if there is one game that has been ripe with potential microtransactions, it is Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon's been doing it the longest, right? They've been locking Pokemon behind. Oh, you got to buy both games, or you better hope you have a friend who has the other game.
Mystery gifts to special events.
Yeah. So
I will say this last point on the Amiibos for me is that if I have to name one game that's worth using multiple Amiibos for, it's Bayonetta 1 and 2 because not only do you get a huge amount of in-game currency the more you use, like you start with like, you get 4,000 Halos and then it goes up to like 20,000 Halos for more Amiibos you use. But also certain Amiibos will give you a certain skin. Like you can get Peach's outfit, Daisy's outfit, you can get the Samus armor, you can get Link's costume, you can get what's his name? Fox's outfit. So they at least give you, outfits for the Amiibos and in-game currency. Other than that, these Amiibos, I think originally they were just meant for Smash Brothers and just to collect a nice little toy or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think? I guess we'll leave it on this. But as our resident Nintendo expert, because I asked this in our group chat, do you think that the original intent of Amiibos was, let's see how far we can take this? Or do you think Amiibos like just got really popular and they started selling out and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And now Nintendo is like, maybe we can like disguise this as cute ways to sell overpriced DLC / paywall things that should be in the game you're buying. Like, do you think their plan shifted?
Here's what I think would happen. I think they always had the idea of we can sell these figures to our customers and we can give them a reason to buy them. But the reason won't really be big enough, like, as I said before, in Mario, you get like one item when you use it. And each game you play, you can only use one Amiibo, like that Amiibo once per day. And I think what happened was, I actually saw a video about it recently where certain Amiibos sold out so quickly that, they're almost impossible to find. And Nintendo knows that because they figured, we can make these people out here fight for these figures and charge arm and a leg for these figures. But if you go to Japan, you can find almost any Amiibo out there. Like, I wanted to find a Donkey Kong Amiibo only because I have a Bowser Amiibo. And I was like, hey, it reminds me of Kong versus Godzilla. Bowser was $12. Donkey Kong is like $150.
Oof.
I bought, and I'm a sucker for them because I went to a Goodwill tech store and I bought a Mario Amiibo for like $25. And the Amiibo was not even all that impressive. It's not the one with the fire in his hand. That one is cool. That was like $45.
Oh my God, this is insane though. Do you hear these prices? They're basically charging you for a full, like a brand new game.
Look at the Mewtwo Amiibo, $40-something. Bayonetta, $80.
Oh my gosh.
There's a gaming store in North Carolina that has a golden Mario for $50 and it's used. It's not even brand new. $50 used. And I was like, you know what? I ain't buying that crap.
So Nintendo has effectively created DLC that it has become more popular than the actual games that they're based on.
I wouldn't even call it DLC. I'll call it like, so let's say you have like Devil May Cry, like the 5th one, and you can pay to get your max health. I wouldn't necessarily call that a DLC only because it's a microtransaction, basically. You're paying for microtransactions because they don't really give you a huge item or a huge increase in your gaming. It's just a microtransaction. They're worse than EA because at least EA is not going to sell you a nice shiny figure. Like, not even kidding, my Samus figure is actually kind of shiny, but they're going to charge you.
Speaking of, actually, I think I'm going to buy a couple more. These are actually pretty cool.
I almost did. I almost bought the Richter one, but I was like, I can't pay.
Got to get that extra difficulty level now.
Yeah. Got to get up on the Hydra's back, man.
Yeah, always. Oh, that's always the strategy.
Any final thoughts before we close out this episode? Because
you summed it up pretty well, man. Fuck Nintendo for the look. You know what? How about this? We're gonna come back to this topic in like a year or two, and we're gonna see what bullshit they're getting over people with Amiibos in 12 months. Because I'm really worried that this is like the start of their next phase of their evil plan.
Oh, I just realized something. Oh my God. What if Pokemon Arceus has Amiibos?
Yeah.
you never know.
Well, the thing is, like games are gonna have amiibos. That's just their thing. Like, a Nintendo does this. I think it's like, how far are they gonna take it? That's what I'm worried about.
I think they're already taking it too far.
Yeah, this is too far. This
crazy.
is already, we're here. We have arrived at too
Yeah.
far. So yeah, they're gonna, they are, they're going right
And
past the finish line.
my final point for Amiibos is my biggest beef. My biggest beef right now with the Amiibos was that they made a catsuit Mario and a catsuit Peach for the 3D World game. They didn't make a Fury Bowser Amiibo. That's one of the coolest Nintendo designs I've ever seen of a character. And you got to get one from Etsy for like $50.
Oh my god!
So Nintendo,
Wow.
just stop it. Just